Hi, I'm John Naylor from Foiling Frenzy. This is a reshoot on an education series that I've done. I've done now about 300 hours of foiling. And look, it's been a long road and I've still got a long way ahead of me. But anyway, let's talk about commitment. And this is the second in the series. There's others to go watch, but this one's about commitment. Boy, oh boy, if I knew how hard this was going to be and how small incremental parts were to your education, your progression in this sport, would have had second thoughts, honestly. And look, there is an alternative, wing foiling or some other foiling aquatic sport. But anyway, let's talk about commitment. So I was an average surfer, and when I got into this, and it was just love at first sight, and I said, I want to do this. And it was really, as I said, if I'd known it was going to be this hard, I probably wouldn't have taken on it, because let's do some numbers. So average surfer gets his first foiling board, not this bad boy, but let's bring around the novice gear. So I started with the Konrad 5-foot, Konrad rig underneath it, foil and mast and fuselage. And look, I went out and just was humbled. I was humbled. I continue to hear the word humbled all the time in the sport, because you're just gonna drink a lot of seawater and you're gonna be humbled. In fact, I've got a recipe. It goes like this. You eat humble pie and wash it down with seawater, lots of it. And it was 20 hours before I got to the point where I felt I caught a wave that was even, had some sort of control. I was up on foil and I felt like I actually had it at all. So then 80 hours before I rode and got a ride where I was foiling and felt like I was actually comfortable and had some sort of real control that went for, say, 10 seconds. So let's face it, you're gonna need time on your hands, you're gonna need a long summer, you're gonna spend a lot of time in the water, you're gonna go out in days that are really awful, just for the fact that you just can't get enough of it anyway, but you're just gonna go out and drink seawater and be humbled for just hours and hours and hours. Now let's do some math on that as well for you. I have taught a couple of people to surf, and I don't mind doing that because I'm relatively okay at doing that, but let's look at it. So if you take someone out who's a novice surfer, and we've done surfing, or we've trained someone to surf, and you know that if 1 to 2 hours are the right sort of conditions, you're going to take someone out on a long board, you're going to push them into a few waves, and unless they're hopeless, they're going to get up and they're going to ride a wave, 10, 20, 30 meters pretty easily. And if the conditions are perfect, they'll ride all the way to the beach, let's face it. So it's 1 to 2 hours. Now, by contrast, for me to personally experience that, it was 80 hours. So how about this for a formula? This is 40 times harder than surfing. And I do mean that. I really do mean that. But anyway, so unless you've got time on your hands, you've got the cash set aside, like this bad boy here, Australian dollars, $2,500 for your first rig, then you're gonna go and get, the professional rig at some point. And like I can assure you, you're gonna plunge on this thing. Put some money aside, because you're gonna get committed, you're gonna get into it, and it's just gonna become all consuming. And maybe actually, just as a note, just to finish up on, let's talk briefly about an affliction that we talk about here at the Gold Coast, Australia, called foil brain. And this is the fact that every other part of your life becomes irrelevant. You just become hopelessly addicted to this sport and I think it's sort of the increments are so small that you just go out and you catch one wave, you think that was great, but then you eat shit for the next dozen that you just can't get enough of it, and you think, no, and this is a terrible day, I got to go out tomorrow again. And so foil brain is that mental addiction that you suffer, where you just can't get enough of this. And unfortunately, other parts of your life just start to become less important. I sort of think it's akin to, you see those dogs that have been trained and become fixated with chasing laser pointers? It's like that. Like you become transfixed and fixated on getting out for the next wave. And it's funny now, as I've done 300 hours and there's a bunch of friends who've come in around me who are further or haven't progressed as far as me, and you see them really frothy every day, sun up, can't get enough. And so I warn you, this is not just about commitment, but once you enter Hotel California, you can't really leave. But anyway, that's enough for this video. We're going to get into some more, so look out for the other videos in this series. And next we're going to talk about a bit of form mantra, I think. I can't even know. Let's do it. I'll see you in the next video. I'm John Naylor from Foiling Frenzy.